W420radionetwork.com. Time now for the lowdown on another high time experience. Here's 420 lifestyle correspondent Rich Walkoff.
Well, today we've got a fascinating and uplifting tale of a young man who had a transformative experience in his life at the age of 18 after a troubled early years in childhood, joined the Army, went to Iraq, gonna fight for the US of A, and unfortunately had a very tragic almost killed in Iraq. But that itself really changed the course of your life. So welcome in Cody Walker, a longtime cultivator, dispensary owner, and he's got experience running high-end extraction labs in the Bay Area of San Francisco. And Cody, before we get into the cannabis world, tell me about the absolutely gut-wrenching experience that you had as an 18-year-old near Baghdad a number of years ago. That was, it was a terrible experience, but it really changed the course of your life.
Yeah. So back in 2004, I was shipped off to Iraq as a young 18-year-old soldier, just fresh off boot camp. Actually, about a month and a half after boot camp, I was shipped out to Iraq. One morning, I was actually on top of a turret, and we were headed out on a mission, and somebody blew up what they call a VBIED. It's a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. So basically, they turned their truck into a big bomb. I took some shrapnel. It's severed my nose off my face completely, sort of cut my lips from here to here and filleted them off my face. I got shot in the cheek and out my mouth. And then I got shot once in my shoulder, sort of all in the same instance. Yeah.
That is amazing. You survived the bombing, and then the friendly fire from the patrol officer. Just expound upon that a little bit, because this is something I've never heard. You should have been dead a long time ago, brother, but here you are in front of a beautiful plant that was also instrumental in helping you recover from the PTSD.
Yeah, so I did take a little bit of friendly fire. It does happen. You can't be mad at anybody for it. But I was shot with a 9mm from my commander through my cheek, and he was trying to sort of fire over my truck, and I stood up, got in the way, and back in the day, I used to watch magicians catch bullets with their teeth, and I am here to tell you that that's not true. That's a lie. They cannot catch them with their teeth. Yeah. I got mine shot out trying to do it. So
yeah,
it was a very interesting day. Real early in the morning, we were so close to my forward operating base that the turret guys on the post was actually, they were engaged in the firefight also. So realistically, if I would have been, 10 miles out of the base, I don't know if I'd be here today. There's not a lot of people that get shot in their face and get to talk about it later on and get to do what we get to do here. And, it was very, very instrumental in sort of the way that I've been raised and the way that I live my life now. It's, a very disciplined life at this point, and we're really, really proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
Well, tell me, you're medevaced out, you come home, the government gives you some money, and what do you do with it, and how did it change the course of your life in a favorable way as you dealt with the physical, emotional, and psychological scars from that horrible day?
Yeah, so as an 18-year-old boy, I was what they call a Cav Scout. I did reconnaissance for the infantry, for the cavalry, for tank battalion, stuff like that. If they wanted to know what was on the other side of that hill, I went and told them. Now in civilian life, there's not a lot that I can do with that. So I didn't leave the military with a grand job that I could go and be, in telecommunications or something like that. I was a recon scout. There's not a lot of people that need, that service outside of the military. So I was very fortunate. I got a large lump of sum of money after I got out of the military due to a government program that I sort of tried out for. I was broke. I didn't have a penny to my name. I was actually in McDonald's one morning, and this program, basically you fill out paperwork, they send you cash, or they send you money into your bank account. A couple of months later, you never know if it's going to come or when it's going to come. So I was sitting in McDonald's and I was looking at the dollar menu, and my wife calls me up and she says, "Honey, we have $50,000 in the bank account." I was like, "Okay, I'll take a number 6 instead of a dollar menu item." I was able to reach for the stars in that one. And so right then and there, I turned around, talked to my wife, said, "Listen, cannabis has been a huge part of my life ever since I was a kid. I'm sort of a second generation guy, thanks to my dad. He grew up and taught us this great plant, and to have the respect for the plant that we do. And so I said, "Hun, let's open up a grow. Let's do this. Let's go buy some lights. Let's go rent some space." So I moved her out of Southern California, and we moved up to Oregon, and we sort of started our first large, cannabis business after trying to sort of poke around and play around for a little bit. So we started our grow operation on the government's dime, thank goodness. And here we are today.
Yeah, kind of ironic that other veterans who go to the VA with PTSD or trauma in any way, shape, or form are not able to receive cannabis as a medical treatment for their mental, psychological, and other injuries and the like. Yet here you are, launched a career in it. Just tell me what role it played in your recovery and how it to this day is instrumental in keeping you on track. Because a lot of people think, yeah, great, get high, weed's a great party drug. Well, there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially with the new legalization, it's really referred to a lot of the time as recreational cannabis. And I try to sort of steer people away from that because it's adult use cannabis at this point. Yes, we can have fun with it. I do enjoy getting high myself, but I use it as a medicine, and I use it as a tool in my tool belt to really get over the anxiety, to help me sleep. I utilize CBD a lot to sort of keep my body in line. I really push for the anti-anxiety properties, especially with veterans. We deal with a lot of PTSD, sleep issues, and just general mental health issues. It's a very, very rough life, especially for somebody who's seen combat. So, we really push it onto our veterans. And there's a couple of different programs that we work through to try to get veterans safe access to cannabis, because you're right, the government won't allow us to do it yet. And as sad as it is, and as much research as there is behind it, I really wish we could push it a little bit further. But right now, we're doing what we can. And I really enjoy watching the progression of how cannabis changes the lives of veterans. In particular, and it's primarily along the depression side. Also, it's PTSD is a tough one to battle because there's so many different problems that happen with it, and if you can start to get some of those aligned into a good alignment, you're sleeping better, which means you're eating better, which means you're happier, which means you're not as depressed. The little things start to come in and roll up and really change veterans' lives. And so I work with personal friends. We work, like I said, with a couple of different companies to try to get some safe access for medicine, because at this point it is medicine.
Absolutely. And you're giving back, and that's awesome. And speaking of back, right back behind you is a beautiful garden, and you got to tell us where you're at and what it's all about.
Yeah, so we've got 2 indoor cultivation sites here. Both rooms are about 110 lights, and we've got about 420 plants in each room. We cycle through them every 8.5 to 9 weeks, and we grow about 300 to 350 pounds per room. This is utilized in both, our brands, our personal brands, and then we also help some brands, further themselves also. So we've got Low Key, we've got Dosha, and we've got Bay Ride as our 3 brands. And shameless plug here, but I got to be honest, it's some of the finer medication that I've been able to produce. We've got a great team behind us, and we're ready to just give the world what we do. we love what we do.
Well, awesome. I understand why. That looks beautiful. I wish we had smell-o-vision because we appreciate it a little bit more. So how about this? You go seed to flowering in 9 weeks with the indoor grow?
Yeah, well, not from seed to flower. We've got a separate room over here that we do all our vegging in and all of our cloning. We keep our moms in there. So we're able to sort of prep the plants in a different area and then move them into our flowering room so that when we do want to switch them over and take them from a vegging plant into a flowering plant, we're not wasting space. I mean, we do have to understand that this is commercial manufacturing at this point too. And so time is money, and the more turns we can get out of a room, the better off everybody is.
Sure. Now you got to talk to me about extraction, because when we met a few weeks ago at Canada Connect on the Empress yacht in Richmond Harbor in Northern California, you were turning me on to things I had never heard of before, the sauce and the diamonds and the batter and all this stuff. So for the uninitiated, just through a little bit of what the extraction is all about and what you end up with and how it compares to, a typical flower of marijuana.
Yeah, so we've gotten into this fantastic world of separation and extraction and compound manipulation. And so what we're able to do is we're able to take a whole plant like these back here. We get them into the freezer right away. Once they get cut down, they get into the freezer within half an hour. And what that does is it starts to preserve some of our terpene profiles. The terpene profiles are what really give the flavors, the aromas, and some of the medicinal and effectiveness of the plant itself. Some terpenes will make you tired. Some terpenes will help deliver THC and CBD to your endocannabinoid system. And there's a multitude of different terpenes. And they're found in everyday lives too. But off of the cannabis plant, what we're really trying to do is we're trying to concentrate those into a form that can be utilized by patients that need higher doses. And so we can manipulate the percentage of THC depending and the percentage of terpenes depending on what flavor profile we want to hit for this cannabis extract. There's a million different ways to extract a plant, from pressing it out in a rosin press, to washing it in water. We utilize solvents. There's ethanol extraction. There's a multitude of different extraction methods. But realistically, what we're trying to get is a broad profile of what that plant looks like on the stem, but a concentrated form of that, to say the least.
Hey, Cody, it was great catching up with you. Again, I want to just grab what's behind you and just run with it, baby. That's awesome. That's a beautiful crop you've got there, and it's an amazing story. I mean, you almost gave your life in the service, and you got a second opportunity, and I'm glad you're giving back and using the cannabis in a healthy, positive way for many veterans as well. So really appreciate your time, and best of luck to you.
Absolutely, buddy. Whenever you're back in town, let me know and you can come romp through the forest with us.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful green scene. And we'll link your contact information at the W420radionetwork.com site. And also, if you go to W420radionetwork.com/archive, you can listen again or hear some excerpts. Cody Walker, he's the whiz. He's the lab director at Bayride and a beautiful cannabis brand, Loki and Dosha in Oakland, California. I'm Rich Walkoff, and we'll be right back.
Hello, this is Dan Perkins. Here's more important information about the Engage section of the amazing software for New Frontier Data called Equio. These are just examples of some of the things that Engage can do for you. You will be able to see and understand consumption preferences at the county, state, and even the zip code level. You'll want to follow product trends filtered by age and gender, so you know exactly what to offer and how to market it. How about learning the market density of the location you might be considering to expanding your business? Use the Visit Index score to determine the trends that impact your outreach and messaging. Engage with your customers customer base to expand and repeat your value. You can learn more about product trends, filter by age and gender. This valuable information, it helps you to know exactly what to offer and how to market it. Things are changing rapidly, and you need the latest information from an independent source to keep yourself informed of the changing markets. For more information on the EQO software package, go to newfrontierdata.com, click on the EQO software, and don't forget to ask about the special offer. This is Dan Perkins.
W420radionetwork.com.